Okay, I'm back. There's some things I gotta do, but yeah, I'm back. We're going to Summer City now. All the way back to the Academia. And apparently, so it seems like someone within the Matra could be responsible or could be involved in the smuggling of these artifact capsules. I'm assuming it could be Cyno's mentor. I can 100%,
Hello,
I can
we meet
100% see
again.
that.
How's the investigation going? Oh, so you were able to find Cyno after all. I hope he's doing all right.
It's the same as always.
I read the letter and must admit that I hadn't expected things to be so serious. Sorry. Had I known it would be so dangerous, I never would have gotten you two involved.
And don't worry about them, just these things.
We wanted to help Cyno too.
I can tell that he really trusts you. The research files stored away in the restricted repository are far from ordinary. Everything there is essentially about dangerous research that's forbidden by the Akademiya. Even I don't usually have authorization to enter.
Forbidden research.
But with this letter from Cyno, it shouldn't be a problem.
Forbidden research, again. We're going back to the Archon quest again with forbidden knowledge and the cause of LSR and everything. So, like, what is the forbidden research exactly? Because what I'm getting right now, from connecting all these together, all seems to revolve around Conria, the Akademiya, Gold, the creation of the Abyssal Monsters, and the Cataclysm. It all seems to revolve around that, and to an extent, Celestia. So whatever's happening within Conria is forbidden knowledge, and that's a problem apparently. No, it's not. No, it's not. It's a problem in general. So like, what exactly is up with the forbidden knowledge that's such a problem? Like, I have no idea. That's the one thing we're missing. Like, I can connect the dots, but it's just that one bit of forbidden knowledge, exactly what's going on. It could be the Akademiya, it could be something even deeper than that. Who knows?
That's right. Granted, the Akademiya is very supportive when it comes to research. They encourage scholars to conduct all kinds of studies. However, some forms of research have proven to be so dangerous
Again,
that the Matra have to step
limiting
in
your
and
research.
put a stop to them. Normally, after some particular research becomes prohibited, the majority of the related files will be destroyed.
See, what's even more interesting here is the fact that if you look at Cyno's like all the Cyno's drip marketing basically, and look into his profile and everything, when this demo came out, he's part of the faction where basically he's trying to limit the research. Now it could be part of the Matra, it could maybe not even be part of the Matra. Whatever he is a faction of, that's the thing that we need to look into, because again, limiting the knowledge of the previous civilization, limiting the knowledge of Conria again, and in a way, like, I want to say it's a bad thing to limit that knowledge, because clearly whatever knowledge is, it's forbidden for a reason, right? As a theorist myself, I need to know exactly what it is. Again, it's the end of pursuit of knowledge is the problem. And maybe certain knowledge can even like rival the gods in a way, which is why Celestia feels so threatened. And why Conria was destroyed. But I have a new thought about Conria. And why Celestia had to destroy it. And I don't want to go too deep into it yet, but if that speculation I'm thinking of, I may make a video on comes to be true, then we have some serious problem on our hands. That's not just one nation.
But some information may be retained as a record to warn later researchers. Such information is kept in the restricted repository, which is heavily guarded. Follow me.
If we actually do get like Conrian lore or ancient civilization lore, that'd be super hype.
Sounds kinda dangerous. We'd better keep an eye out.
It also is connect with Fontaine as well. Like, we don't get much about Fontaine, but we knew Fontaine is gonna be the next region. We know that much, at least. Again, it's like it all connects back to the Cataclysm again. It connects with Conria again, and it seems to connect with Fontaine. Like, it all connects together. It doesn't help the fact that Sumerian and Fontaine are next to each other now at this point. So what's going on?
Cyno is vouching for you, I suppose we can trust you. You may browse the information regarding the Court of Desolation. Ask me if you have any questions.
Thank you.
But I'd suggest avoiding any other research files. Sometimes the less you know, the better.
Ignorance is bliss, basically, is what you guys are saying. And that is very true. Continuously remaining ignorant is not good at all because it keeps you in denial. But in some instances, yes,
Huh.
ignorance is bliss.
So this is the restricted repository. I never thought I'd see the inside of it. This is a first for both you and me.
Do you also know Cyno Taiba?
There are many who do not openly converse with others within the Akademiya. But even so, there are very few who I feel could be trusted with a real secret. Cyno happens to be one of them. Even though he's no longer in the Akademiya, I still trust him.
He
And
acknowledged that
goes for
again.
anyone he trusts as well.
So Act 4
files are
is
over
relevant to this.
Just make it quick.
Because we wouldn't, because like, well, 100% at least Act 3 is gonna be relevant to this one because Act 3 is when we signed up for the first time, and by that point, Sander already left the Akademiya and exiled himself, right? Of course, an account of a Harvard researcher being sentenced to prison for deciphering written documents. Whoa. This could be a long one. Despite repeated prohibitions, research on the Court of Desolation in the past decade has increased without ceasing. Researchers who study the history of the Court of Desolation mainly go to three stages: discovery, investigation, and fanaticism. Discovery, obviously looking into it for the first time. Investigation, theory crafting, looking into more information, and then fanaticism, being fascinated and blinded by this knowledge, basically. The early stage, actually 3 stages. 3. Crackpot speculation. Can we kind of parallel this with the 3 stages of the meditation life that the scholars go through? I know there's one, and then there's Satyavada, and then Purna life, right? Can we correlate with these 3 as well? I don't know what the first one is. I feel like I can correlate those 3. The earlier stage of the research is relatively basic discovery phase, which causes little to no harm. The results of their discoveries will show that treasures related to life and death may be hidden within the Court of Desolation. This is also where the rumor of bringing the dead back to life may begin. Following the initial phase is the prolonged investigation phase. All documentation regarding the location of the Court of Desolation has never been vague at best. As a result, the structure itself has never truly been discovered. Many researchers deplete the resources in searching in the desert, only to find a scant few remaining stone tablets with the words, "Entering the Court of Desolation comes at a price of one's life." Again, this is like, again, you can kind of correlate this with the uses of knowledge capsules. Using them consistently is gonna come at a penalty. 2 different interpretations of the line have quickly emerged as a result. Some believe that the price of one's life is the key to entering the Court of Desolation, while the others assert that it was a requirement for the court to appear. Because the Court of Desolation has never been discovered, the latter view gradually became mainstream. As a result, many researchers went into a short period of time, overtaken by the fervent desire to make the Court of Desolation appear, fanaticism. They intended to sacrifice their lives. Relevant research became increasingly dangerous and it was eventually banned. Again, constant pursuit of knowledge that Yamiko states, fanaticism. But even after that, many Akademiya scholars secretly continued their research. It was not until 7 scholars, including Murtada Radkani, was arrested in the research into that Court of Desolation entered the period of stagnation once again. Isn't that can that be related to Sanders's senior, or is that actually Sanders's senior?
Whoa, there's a lot to read here. Have you found anything yet?
Murtada Radkani.
Huh, it reminds Paimon of Cyno's former partner.
Exactly.
His former partner. That would be Taj Radkani. But you're not far off. Murtada
Oh.
Radkani was Taj's only son.
What? Taj's son went to prison for researching the Court of Desolation?
Oh, what?
Why do you sound so surprised? You're a Matra, aren't you?
It's because he's a
It's just
Matra.
that They arrested him in secret, so it was never publicly known. All I knew was that Taj's son was taken to prison. It's not just me. I bet even Cyno didn't know about it.
Is there any way we can meet Murtada?
No. Unfortunately, there isn't.
Oh,
He took his own life not long after he went to prison. You've heard about Taj, right? I know Nabil has. Every Matra knows him.
that's very tragic.
I would say he's probably pushing 50 this year, which makes him one of the most experienced Matra.
Taj might be the. It might be Taj then.
His reputation goes back a long way now.
It might be
He used
him.
to be Cyno's only partner. Taj is also skilled with the polearm, so the two of them used to practice together when they weren't out on a mission.
Ah, right. I heard Cyno mention that before. But one day, Taj suddenly decided to retire from active duty and transfer to an administrative position.
Probably because of injuries.
I wonder if it had anything to do with the Mortada incident.
Taj was already very well known by the time Mortada was born. So when Mortada came to study at the Akademiya, everyone had high expectations of him.
Oh, it's like
He
peer
had to face
pressure.
a lot of pressure. Then he had an unpleasant dispute with his father, but they were eventually able to work things out. Not long after they had reconciled, Mortada was caught studying the Court of Desolation, which is in violation of Akademiya rules.
And see, the weird thing is, again, like this, Murtada was desperate, I guess, and that's why he started studying the Court of Desolation, knowing the risks, and that got cut. But in all honesty, could you really blame him? Because again, it's peer pressure for expectations, and these peer pressures can maybe even come from the sages. Honestly, again, proving the fact that the sages are the true evil of the entirety of Samira's story, messing people mentally and controlling people as well, and doing whatever they can, even things that could end up being illegal, that's below under the belt, just to get Kusanoli back, just to get a new god, basically. Again, these sages are absolutely ridiculous. In a way, it all originates back to the sages, and the fact that's all their fault, no matter what. I don't want to be pointing fingers, but who else can you blame? Other than the Batui. You can only blame the sages for this one.
Taj arrested his son and put him behind bars. He begged for leniency, but Taj wouldn't agree.
Wow, that's a parallel.
Shortly after, Mortada slit his own throat with the pieces of a broken bowl. By
Oh,
the time Taj arrived at the scene, it was already too late.
oh, dude.
He never had a last chance to see his son. Since then, Taj has been periodically coming to the repository. He'll hold the files from his son's research with a remorseful look on his face. I guess that's why he chose to move to administrative work.
I had no idea that happened. That must
It's
be
parallel.
really hard for Taj. I've never heard him mention that to anyone.
Hatsuragi and Nagamasa.
That's awful. Paimon feels terrible now. Are you okay, Traveler?
You said Taj comes to the repository?
Wait, don't tell me you're starting to suspect Taj.
I had to.
Impossible. Taj would never do that. I mean, yes, he does have a big
He has a
reputation
motive too.
and has access
very
to such
strong motive.
research. But this is Taj we're talking about. He would never do anything against regulations. Never.
Not as he had a
But if you
motive or
claim that
reason.
the canned knowledge was originating from the Akademiya, then Taj is indeed a suspect.
Yeah, I was gonna say, come on
Because
now.
he was the only one who could have recently gone through research files about the Court of Desolation. There are so many files about those ruins that it would be difficult to restart any research, since the 7 original researchers were put behind bars. It's hard enough just trying to make sense of these files. However, if the files were made into canned knowledge, they could be understood immediately. By doing so, one could restart the research outside the Akademiya without anyone ever noticing.
But even so,
According to the legends, the treasures inside the Court of Desolation could allow someone to see beyond life and death. Or even bring the dead back to life, right?
Or maybe he's just fulfilling his
Maybe
son's
Taj is
will.
trying to bring Mortada back. Though I don't really believe Taj would ever try to do something like that.
Exactly.
I'm just telling you what I know. It's the job of the Matra to find the truth and track down criminals.
I don't know if he believes that,
Do you have
but
any
he at
questions?
least can fulfill
If
his
not-
son's will, you know?
It'd be best if you would leave now.
Paimon's kinda confused. What should we do from here?
Let's go ask around somewhere else.
oh, now that I think about it, Cyno suspected that the canned knowledge was coming from within the Akademiya, right?
Exactly.
There's no way so many boxes could ever get through without drawing any attention. Maybe we could try asking people around the gate of the Akademiya and see what we can find. Don't worry, Taj. I won't let your reputation be tarnished.
Alrighty then, let's go ask around.
Wow. The pursuit of knowledge really is dangerous. Seems like something that Conrad did want to go through, or maybe Gold went through, I would dare say. Okay. That's rather curious, in my opinion. Again, like, there's so many parallels between this and the whole situation within Conrad and Gold. And imprisoning his own son, that's a parallel of what happened of something specific in Inazuma. In my opinion.
Have you seen any large
Like, two nations are
shipments
connected like
of
this.
goods leaving the Akademiya recently?
No, not that I'm aware of. Perhaps you could ask someone else?
Oh, that was fast. Again, again, there's the concept of syzygy where we have two things that can pair up to tell a story, basically. The whole history of Inazuma and the whole history of Sumeru can be telling us a story about.
Excuse me. Have
what,
you seen
about
any large shipments of goods leaving the Akademiya
Conrad's dark
recently?
backstory, you can say.
Huh.
In my opinion.
Yes, but isn't that pretty normal? The Akademiya consumes so many resources each day. Everything from cooking ingredients, raw materials, even equipment for experiments. It's normal for goods to be coming in and out.
Right, but we're looking for shipments with a Matra seal. Have you seen any like that?
That I'm not too sure of. I normally wouldn't notice whether the goods have any seals or not. Maybe you should ask someone else.
How about you, good sir?
Excuse me. Have you seen any large shipments of goods leaving the Akademiya recently?
Huh? Why do you ask?
I'm just checking to ensure nothing unusual has happened.
Well, I can't say it's unusual, but I did notice something. There's a Kashar researcher who's been
Oh, it's a
making frequent
Darshan.
shipments recently.
Right.
Dozen of large boxes each time, if not more. When I asked him about it, he said they just contained a bunch of old worn-out machines. The Kashar used to often sell scrap machines to traveling merchants, so I didn't really think anything of it. But he's been making a lot of shipments lately. There weren't ever so many outdated machines
Oh, well, there we
before.
go.
And you didn't find that suspicious? Why didn't you report it for inspection?
Well, the boxes were stamped with a Matra seal. Why should I bother? Of course, I did start to wonder about the seal once, thinking that maybe they forged it or something. But you know what happened? A man named Taj came here and told me
there
that
we
he
go.
already inspected the goods personally and ordered me to leave the
So what?
researcher
So Taj
alone.
was responsible
I
behind
couldn't
everything.
question his word, could I?
Impossible. There must be some sort of mistake. There's no way Taj would ever...
Just calm down, everyone.
No, I won't believe it. Taj is an honorable man. Someone must be trying to frame him.
We can ask him.
Wait, I know another Matra who works with Taj. I can ask him to let us speak with Taj.
As I've already told you, I don't have any way to contact Taj.
You lost contact?
A few Eremites showed up looking for Taj yesterday, and he met with them in his office. I was standing outside of the door, and I vaguely heard them say, "Found it." Before I realized it, the door opened, and Taj left with the group of them. I noticed that he had also changed into Eremite attire.
Oh, well,
But
there's
Taj
the
didn't
red
come to work
flag.
today, so I've also started to feel a little concerned about the whole thing. If you'd like to speak with him, maybe you can try visiting his home. He lives just on the outskirts of Sumeru City.
A group of Eremites? Could Taj really be the one making all the canned knowledge?
No way. Taj is just like Cyno. They're considered heroes among the Matra. There's no way that he would...
A hero could live long enough to become a villain, Nabil. Let's go to his home and have a look.
Fine. Looks like there's no other choice.
Hey, don't let it get to you just yet. We'll get to the bottom of this once and for all.
Also, maybe that was a pessimistic way of saying it, but I'm not kidding. You either become a hero or you live long enough to be a villain. And in some cases, a hero could end up becoming a villain. I don't want to say Taj is a villain per se, but like, just because he was an honored hero does not mean he's the same person that you know remember him as, you know.
So, this is Taj's place. There doesn't seem to be anyone here.
Well, what should we do then? Do we break in?
No. Wait, the door's unlocked. Did Taj leave in a hurry? Well, anyway, we're still not sure if he's the real culprit. Probably not a good idea to go in without permission.
We had to do this in order to clear his name.
You're right. Even if we apply for a warrant now, we won't be able to do anything until tomorrow at the earliest. This is an emergency. I just hope Taj doesn't mind. What's this?
It's a paper full of names written on it. Oh, and a map. Nabil, can you make any sense of this?
Yes, this is definitely Taj's handwriting. These papers look like records. These are the transactions between Taj and some other people. From the look of the numbers, the scale of this smuggling case is absolutely massive. The whole operation involves more than 300
300?
people, including dozens of celebrities. These are famous scholars, merchants, mercenaries. I have a feeling that Cyno might be unaware of what he's up against. There's no way anyone could face such a large organization on their own.
Even so, he won't back down.
You're right. That's just who he is.
He faces the
As for the
impossible.
map, it appears to indicate the location of the Court of Desolation. Let's take it to Cyno and let him decide how to proceed.
Alright.
If Taj really has turned on his honor and committed these terrible acts, then I suspect that he might already be at the Court of Desolation as we speak.
And it's our job to stop him
I don't
then.
want to suspect him, but I also don't know him very well. Maybe Cyno will know what to do.
All right, we'll give these to Cyno and see. Let's go.
Alright. So Taj could be behind this. And again, I say this has several motives that he can have. Such as it could be reviving his son, but I don't know if he believes in that. So it might just be like completing his son's will or getting revenge of some sort, maybe. Who knows? But yeah, I had a feeling Taj would be involved in this somehow.
Cyno, what do you make of it?
Taj. It's been a while since I last saw him. From what I remember, he is a straight-laced man. Although he would resort to extreme measures from time to time, he would never do anything against his beliefs.
So do you think he's the one behind all this?
I'm still not sure. I cannot imagine how devastating the incident with Mortada was for him. Nor can I deny the possibility that people can change.
Exactly.
Whether it's out of love for his son or for other reasons, we have to see for ourselves to judge him. Or rather, the person he's become.
The evidence is stacked against him now.
That's right. It's clear that he had a hand in this case, yet he made no report of it. There's no doubting that. That's also why I need to see him. I must ask his reasoning and judge him myself. Time is ticking. Let's go.
All right.